What's going on, arcade nerds? I just came back from a road trip and I picked up a game that I've been wanting for many years. That game is Speed Freak. And just figured I'd turn the camera on and share it with you. Me opening this thing up, I wanted this game for a very long time. I actually drove 9 hours one way, 9 hours back. But between doing, going to rest stops and so on, somehow I finally came back 24 hours later. And believe it or not, I haven't slept for like 30 some hours. So I'm actually really, really tired. I just got this game in the house. I gotta play with it. Hopefully maybe I can fix it in this video. I'm just really excited about this game. Finally got myself a Speed Freak. So let me set up the camera and let's open it up. Let's show it around. I haven't even opened the box yet. I haven't even opened the back door yet. So I believe, from what I'm told, all the parts are supposed to be inside. It's a complete machine, but it does not work. So anyways, let's set up the tripod and let's see if we can get a Speed Freak working in this video. Okay. So just gonna cut this off with a steak knife. I don't care. Yeah, and so I picked this up. I use my grandma's old '96 Cadillac. I attached a trailer to it. So no, I did not put it on top of the caddy this time. I actually connected a trailer to the Cadillac. Oh. If my grandma knew that, she'd be rolling over in her grave. But holy crap. I only got a chance to look at it just for a few minutes, and I was just excited. We instantly covered it in the shrink wrap, and I'm glad we did, because while we were traveling on the road, it did rain. But we wrapped it up pretty good. My wife was with me, my youngest son and my oldest daughter was with me. But yeah, very dusty, but I have to say, the control panel is like, it's mint. Very dusty. Let me get the camera and let's do a walk around. Okay. Very dusty. Now I noticed this has what looks like an Atari cone button. I'm gonna have to check out some pictures online. Did this come with like an Atari cone button? Because this is not an Atari game. And I, for some reason, thought or think that these were only found on Ataris, and like some Bally's had similar buttons. I don't know. I'll have to take a look at some pictures online. I guess maybe it looks original. I mean, I'll have to find out. But this plexi is loose. There is a monitor inside. The bottom's a little chewed up. Not bad though. Not bad. The side art is a little chewed up. Not too terrible though. Some damage here. It's actually not warped or anything there. It's just some of the side art's been flaked off. So I may just touch it up. We'll see how that goes. Well, let's see what it looks like inside. Like I said, I was told this is complete. So let's find out. Let me turn the camera off. Anyways, I'm gonna put one big ass screw in there. So I'm going to kind of one-handed like use a big ass screwdriver. Let me change hands. Use my right hand. Damn! It's in there. Yeah, look how big that screwdriver is. Oh, okay. Okay. We have a vector beam monitor. Now, a lot of people may not know this, but there is a difference between a vector beam monitor and a Cinematronix monitor. The biggest difference is the power plug. See this here? This plug is a different type of plug than a Cinematronix. Definitely one of the earlier revisions of the PCB here. And I've never seen fine heat sinks. Usually they're aluminum. That's interesting. So it's a different heatsink than usual. But like I said, this would definitely be an earlier version. It also does not have the Keltron box. It has the built-in high voltage. So hopefully this thing won't be too hard. And it has a vector beam, not a Cinematronix power supply. Yes, even the power supply is different. You can't put up a vector beam power supply and plug it into a Cinematronix game, even though they're electronically identical. The plugs aren't the same. So, not sure what that's about. Hey Kelly, can you grab your phone just so I can get a light? And I can tell all the way already the speaker's shot. I can see right through the speaker.
Oh boy.
Now, remember, we had the same issue with, yeah, give me that light. We had that same issue with Warrior, if you remember. Warrior had a chewed up speaker too. And I ended up putting a, what's that say? An Asteroid speaker in. Time out. What's that? Hold on. Hold this for 1 second. I'm gonna unscrew this stand here. And I'm gonna get in there. I think that says timeout. Timeout. I can't read it.
Timeout tunnel?
No, it says timeout. Family. Something center. I can't read it because I'm too far away. But anyway, so there you have the board. It's probably a revision B, I'm gonna guess. PCB. That would be one of the earlier boards. And there's a hack. There's a hack on this board. It's interesting. I did not know that they did a hack, because I can play Speed Freak on boards without a hack. It's kind of interesting. And here we have the soundboard, sound controls. And over here, I have not seen one of these in real life until now. Well, I'm told there's a magnet on the end of this, and it selects limit switches. Magnetic reed switches, I should say. And actually, I can see them now. Here's little glass tubes. When there's a magnet that moves on the stick, it activates these switches. And here you have a plain old quadrature input. And I don't know if that Atari button's original, that cone button, or not. I'll have to look into it. So, and here we have something down here. Hold that flashlight for me again, would you? Oh, and look, here is the gas pedal. It's nothing but a limit switch. And there's just something in this box. Bag. Looks like old hardware, carriage bolts and stuff. So who knows what's been going on with that. So, I kind of doubt this is just going to work right out of the box. But I'm kind of excited, and I'm kind of curious. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get a multimeter my wife's sneezing. We're gonna get a multimeter and we're gonna test 5 volts and plug this in for a second and see if anything comes to life. Okay, my wife is plugging it in, and I unplugged the monitor power cable. So my wife is gonna hold this right there, and I'm gonna see what our voltage is. Now, I don't know if you can tell. Let me see if I can show you. See that LED is lit. Oh, and it went out. Interesting. When the LED is stuck on, that means it's not working properly. Okay, look out here. What's our voltage? Oh, does that say 5 volts now? I can't see because, yeah, we're in the millivolts.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Okay, it just wiggled one of the breakers. 3.2 volts. Okay. So, I guess that means our power supply is bad. So, I guess first things first, we'll take it out. You know, just for giggles, Kelly. Now, you know, yeah, let's go ahead and let's pull this power supply and let's fix it. Forgive me if I may seem out of it a little bit, but I am very tired. But anyway, so I got the power supply out of the cabinet. First thing I'm going to do is unscrew this transistor and desolder the 2 lugs on the back side. We're going to pull out this whole board. This board right here is what regulates the 5 volts. So I'm just going to shut the camera off for now and pull that transistor. Also, I noticed these are this is a little sticky. Ooh, that's a little tough. You want this to be able to trip if it's drawing too much current. So I may look around and I may have another one of these breakers and I may replace it because the one is real sticky. So yeah, I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm just going to pull this transistor and remove this board first things first. Okay, so I pulled this 2N6055 and I found out it's open. In other words, it's burned out, it's opened. So I don't have another one of these. So I thought, hell, you know, 2N3055 is the same pin out. I gotta have those, and I can't find them. So I replaced it with a 2N3716. This should work. I have not tested it, but 99.999% sure that this should work. It's basically equivalent. I mean, you know. Anyways, it handles the same amount of current and everything. Now, 2N3055 would be an upgrade, but this is about a sideways cross-reference. Anyways, so while I'm looking at stuff, I noticed so this was burned open, right? Over here, check this out. Can you see it? The diode's cracked. Now, those diodes are 4723s. That's a 3 amp diode. And what I have in my parts drawer here are these 1N5404. These are also a 3 amp diode. I believe these have a higher reverse voltage, so this is actually an upgrade also. So I'm gonna put this sucker in on both sides. So I'll put both of them in just for the hell of it, and it'll be a slight upgrade, and should fit in the original location. And what the hell? Replace these caps. Now I don't have this capacitor. Odds are it's good though. So I think I'm going to leave this capacitor alone and hope it's good. But this guy and this guy, I'm sure I got hundreds of them. So yeah, let's go ahead and replace those those things, and we'll put it back together. And if you didn't know, if you wanted to test this, one of these bricks, all you have to do is solder a wire here, and solder a wire here, or use alligator clips and connect that to your 110 volts or whatever, that's it. You can bypass everything. You don't have to make a special plug or anything like that. By the way, I pulled out this parts machine here, this parts power supply. Now, remember how I said that vector beam power supplies have a different plug? Well, there you go. See how that's different? And this is different. So you cannot get a, for whatever reason they decided to do this, I don't know why, but you cannot get a vector beam monitor or vector beam power supply to plug into any Cinematronix machine, even though they're both Zentek power supplies and everything. It's the exact same circuit inside. I mean, for example, here's your 5-volt regulator PCB over here, and here's your 5-volt regulator PCB here. I mean, it's the same thing. But I don't know, for whatever reason they decided to not make them plug interchangeable. So I will go ahead and put those parts in and we'll test it again and see if it works. Okay, I temporarily connected 120 volts to these two lugs, and that just bypasses all the plugs up front. And check it out. Kelly, can you bring that in? Oh, you know, let me explain a little bit. You see this red wire? And you see this black wire? This is your 5 volts and ground. And so, I'm trying to do this with one arm. There is our 5 volts, there's our ground, and 5.3 volts. Wonderful. Now 5.3 is actually okay. Because there's going to be somewhat of a voltage drop across the harness. So by the time it reaches the board, it could be 5 volts, 5.1 volts, so on. We will see, but I think we fixed the power supply problem. So yeah, basically all we did was just replaced capacitors, which may or may not have needed to even be replaced. We replaced a blown diode and the other diode just for good merit, and this transistor, and we have power. So I'm going to replace this bottom breaker because it's crunchy. It's like sticky and it's crunchy inside. This one seems to be working, right up top, but this guy has seen better days. But you know, I had a pair of pliers. There we go. Basically all you do is just get a pair of pliers and twist this straight, and it'll slide right out. Then I'll stick the new one in and then twist them. I don't know where I got these from. I was gonna say they might be new old stock, but it looks like they've been soldered to before. But whatever application they came from, I'm not sure if they were from one of these monitors or not, because this has never been twisted. I don't know. Maybe the other, there is multiple different power supplies that were used in Cinematronix games. Maybe it came from a Condor or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, let's put it in. Alright, she is put in there. Kelly, plug in the power, if you would. And I'm going to hand you the camera. Right now the monitor is still unplugged. Hand me the... Okay. And I'm going to try to do this one-handed again. It's hard to do this one-handed. 5 volt, dead on. Beautiful. And the LED flipped on and switched off, but oh, now it's on again. There's definitely a bad connection somewhere on the board. So, and I see lots of rusty ass legs. So I guess next thing to do is to clean up all the connections on the CCPU board, and then maybe we could try it with the monitor power hooked up. Well, I ended up sitting on the couch and falling asleep, and so this is the next day. As soon as I woke up, I was really excited. I wanted to get started on this, but then my son and his girlfriend found out there was like a local carnival thing going on, so I had to take him down to the carnival. The whole time I'm thinking about this stupid machine, the whole time. So anyway, so now we're finally back to here, and I forget where exactly we left off. But if I remember correctly, this needed some work. This board was a little flaky, so I guess that's where we're gonna go. So yeah, I guess we'll dig this out. Okay, just turn it on, and I hear a oddball chatter. Doesn't really sound right. And I see this collapsed screen. The way this is jumping up and down and not staying steady leads me to believe this is not in the analog section. Not necessarily. I believe that this could be the LF13331. So I'm going to swap it out. LF13331, the LF13331 is this chip right here. And this is an analog switch. Let's say if this DAC or this DAC is getting information, it'll shut it off in between the spurts of information. I know that's a terrible way to describe it. But I've seen that screen before, and it sure makes me believe the LF13331 is bad. So let's just throw it in. It can't hurt. It's already socketed. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So what? Okay, got the new chip in, and I hear a healthy deflection sound. We may be good to go. And we are. Oh, there's still something wrong. Okay, you see how the jitters? The jitters? I think that is a pot. But hey, that's great. And there's some noise in the beam. And I believe that noise is this capacitor and that capacitor. And to be honest, it's actually kind of impressive that we have a good high voltage right now, because this is probably all original. So I guess the next step is to take out this whole monitor and let's recap everything. And that should fix those jitters. And I may just replace these pots, because every Cinematronix monitor I've seen with these pots, they're always flaky and they're doing that same jitter, that shaky thing I was talking about. That very well could be in the pots, and some of that weird noise in the straight lines, that's probably in these two caps here and here. But hey, check it out, man. It's playing Speed Freak. Hold on, let me move this tripod out. And let's see if I can stand this up. I don't want to coin it up. Okay. I can't see. Okay, push start. And the start button flashes. Okay, I can steer. It's going really slow. It's supposed to go that slow? Second gear. Yeah, this monitor needs some help. Third gear? Why is it so damn slow? Is that... No! Okay. First gear. Come on. I think it's trying to start me off in a high gear, and that's why we're going so slow and it takes so long. Yeah, we definitely have some jitters. Yeah, this monitor needs some help. Okay, so we're gonna have to play with this monitor. Hopefully I got that on camera. I have the tripod right. I hate how tripod is always right in my face. It's a little better maybe. But yeah, something wrong with controls for sure. And I I think it might think that I'm in higher gear when I'm trying to put it in first. Yeah, something is not right. Plus, not one bit of sound, but remember we said that speaker was messed up. So, yeah. I guess, yep, I'm just going to take out the monitor and recap everything. I put all brand new potentiometers in. Okay, I have my cell phone with a light on. I figured I'd take some pictures of this. Now, this and this here. You see this? This is one of those little glass relay deals. If a magnet gets next to this piece of glass, it will close contacts. Okay? And this shaft should be magnetic then. And when it gets next to this sensor, or that sensor, or that sensor, it will know what gear it's in. Now it looks like there is no sensor here. And so there's only, I guess there's only 3 out of the 4 sensors that are actually populated. Although that doesn't feel right. It looks like I have a missing sensor entirely. I do. Why would they put wires there if there wasn't supposed to be a sensor there? So it looks like I'm missing one of these. So that's okay. I actually have some Cinematronix sensors that I can put in. I can make it work. The difference is both wires on the Cinematronix come out the same side, but these are coming out each side. That's okay. I can make that work. Another interesting thing is check out the control panel mount. It just looks like generic off-the-shelf parts from Handyman or something, you know. I've seen that often in Cinematronix games where they just, for example, Starhawk or Warrior, it looks like the joysticks are made out of just common parts you can get from like the hardware store. And right here is our little optical board here. And this coming out of the back, this is a plastic film. So when the steering wheel turns, it's going through a plastic film. That might have been cheaper to do it that way than to actually machine it. Who knows? A piece of steel or something. But yeah. Very interesting. So I guess let's pull out the monitor and let's toy with it till we get a good picture. And the next thing will be to find a speaker. I may just, I don't know, maybe I might take a trip to like Walmart and see if they sell a speaker that size. They might not. I think what I may end up doing is stealing one from an Asteroids like I did for our Warrior. I don't know. Alright. Okay, my wife was kind enough to remove the monitor from Speed Freak and she put it on the workbench down here. And I pulled off this Faraday cage around the high voltage section. And I've seen some dirty stuff here and there. For example, this capacitor has leaked at some point in its life, and now it's corroding other parts that are nearby. There's some assorted mouse turds and nuts and stuff like that, little seeds. So yeah, we're gonna clean this out a little bit. Now, often you'll see people say, oh, wash that board. And I'm okay with washing monitor boards. I have no problem. But I will never wash one of this style transformer. Never, ever wash this type of transformer. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to clean this, but I will not wash this. But anyways, also there's a blown tantalum right here. Now this part is not needed. You could, oh, look at that. That part's not needed. You can clip it off and still run just fine, but we're going to put the part in. Anyways, and we have a blown diode here, which I already poked before. Yeah, so we're going to replace those parts just for the hell of it. Evidently, we don't need them too much. And as I said before, I'm going to replace these guys with new pots because I've seen some of that shakies on the screen. So anyways, that's that. I'll just replace a bunch of crap and come back to you in a minute. Okay, so every single capacitor has now been pulled and replaced with new capacitors. Now, I did replace the radial capacitors with axial. I'm sorry, the axial with radial, because that's just what I had. But yeah, they needed replaced. That's probably the worst of them all. Anyway, so see how a lead comes out each side of the capacitor? Kind of like an axle. That's the axial. And the radial, both leads will come out the bottom, like that. Okay, so, I also replaced that one diode. You can see that one diode that was bad. And I replaced the one blown tantalum. Now, I replaced it with a 47 microfarad. This was probably a 4.7 or a 2.2 or something like that originally, but it doesn't matter. That's just what I had in hand. Rather than get up and get another capacitor that's the exact match, it doesn't matter in this situation. So I just put what I had on hand right there. Yeah. So I think I'm going to give this. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. These heat sinks. They just fall right off. And I want to put some goop in there. So I have some oh man, my mind went blank. What's it called? Oh, it's like thermal paste, but it's a glue also. Thermal compound something. I don't remember the name. Anyway, so I'll put that on real quick. So it'll act as a glue and also transfer heat. Because these, I don't know. If they're loose like that, that means there's not much touching. And if not much is touching, then it can't conduct heat as well. Let's keep these things cool, as cool as possible at least. Now I remember what it's called. Heat sink plaster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of heat sink plaster and coat these transistors with it all around the ring here and put these heat sinks back on just so it has a better thermal conductivity. Okay, so now I have the heat sink plaster on and I'm going to get this a little bit of a wash, but keep in mind I do not want to get this particular type of flyback wet. So I'm just kind of going to work around it a little bit. I don't want to get it wet because that type of flyback can be damaged if you get it wet. Just pull these out of the way for now. Oh, I didn't show it in camera, but I reflowed the bottom of these connectors. Often these connectors will get a little cold solder joint here and there, and these did. I'm just going to try to get some of the dirt off. Work it around a little bit with this paintbrush. Doesn't have to be perfect. Some people say to never wash a monitor. Well, I always wash a monitor, or at least the monitor I care about. The reason why is because all those little dust particles and whatever can attract water and leave all that exposed metal wet and cause corrosion, just the dust sitting there. So I like to get it clean when possible. I don't have to go nuts, I'm just getting the majority. Good enough. I guess, yeah, there we go. It's not really important for a monitor chassis. I'm going to add a little bit of rubbing alcohol here. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do now is hit it with a hairdryer for a little bit. Yeah, there's some burn in there.
Couldn't see it in the gunk.
Well, you know, the cool thing about this game is it has a tinted bezel. So I guess it's not too bad. It off with some rubbing alcohol. Still getting a little bit here and there, huh? I'm a little, I don't know. Should I put a nice unburned tube in this, or should I leave it all original?
I'd leave it original.
You think?
I don't see a big issue with it just being that burning anyway. It's eventually going to get back to that point sooner or later.
Well,
probably not for a while with us.
There's one thing I wanted to say, real quick.
Oh, you're horrible. You should keep those comments to yourself.
It's freedom of speech. Alright, that's good enough. Let's stick it in that. Oh! Let's stick it in the game. Oh wait, here's some turds. We still have a problem with the shifter. This is the bottom of the control panel. And the way this shifter works is, I forget the proper term for it, but there's a little glass tube with two contacts. And when a magnet gets near it, the contacts close. Okay? This is the back of the shifter, which has a magnet in it, a little magnet inside. And over here, over here, and over here, and over here are the glass tubes. Okay? Now, I'm going to set my meter to continuity, and when these touch, I should have a beep. And I'm going to cross this glass tube, and no one's home. Nothing's working. Now these glass tubes are the same glass tubes that go inside lots of Cinematronix games. You may not realize it, but for example, Sundance, Starhawk, and so on have keys on them. Space Wars and so on. And inside those keys is a little ring magnet. And that when you press the key down, it goes over one of these little glass connectors here. Anyways, so luckily there's a gas station computer made back in the 70s that used the same type of keys. You can find these if you go on eBay often. Look up Cinematronix keyboards. But anyways, so if I ever need to replace a keycap or the key switch itself, I can. Another company made them, and you can get this. I bought this whole keyboard for 20 bucks, shipped, so it's not bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these same exact switches, same manufacturer and everything, and I'm going to replace the bad ones. 3 out of 4 are bad, so I'm going to replace them. And I'm not sure why they don't go bad that often. I have had to replace them many times, but they don't go bad that often. I don't know. These are just bad. I'm not even sure what causes them to go bad. Maybe they crack and some air gets inside and corrodes it. I don't know. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the bad switches. Okay. I already know these are going to work because I tested them on the keyboard. But just for giggles, let's make sure one of them works for the camera. So I'm going to connect each of these to the meter, and hopefully when the gear position is in, there we go. See how it turned on? What? And now it's not working? Come on. Oh, okay. I'm looking at it from the bottom. It's not all the way on. There we go. Very cool. Let's try the other one. Come on. That one's not working. Yeah, that one's not working. Somewhere here. I got a magnet. Even with a more powerful magnet, it's flaky. It's kind of flaky. Yeah, replace the sensor again. You'd think those little glass tubes would be in a vacuum and they would, likely last forever. But they do wear out somehow. Okay, let me replace that sensor yet again. This is the soundboard that came out of it. And it had some issues. See some burnt up resistors here. And I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but does he think it's discolored, which means this transistor was getting super hot. The bottom of the board is real burnt up, real bad. Now, I mean, this is totally fixable. Completely fixable. But I just so happen to have in my stash a working Speed Freak soundboard, so I just stuck it in there. And there's no difference in any way between the two boards. So I figured, what the hell. I don't know if this helps anyone in the future, but it says serial number 75-53, whatever that means. But if you turn it upside down, it says schlong. So that's something good. So yeah, I took the easy route on this. So what the hell? It's not just about fixing it. It's about getting the nicest parts inside your machine also. You know what I mean? Well, we have, for the most part, a steady image, but the potentiometers are a little flaky, and I didn't have those exact sizes, so I'm going to order the potentiometers, and for now we'll deal with it. I put a little bit of deoxit on those pots, and it cleaned it up a lot better, but I don't know if you can see in camera, there's a little bit of a shake, and it'll happen randomly, sometimes if I bang the cabinet, but look how that control panel's turning out. Very nice! Anyway, so the next thing to do is to remove this blown speaker. So I'm going to take out these 4 carriage bolts, and we're going to mount an Asteroids speaker in there. Okay, before I put the new speaker in, by the way, this is an Atari Asteroids speaker, and this is the original speaker. This is the second time I've seen the original speaker just rot away. Or maybe mice get in there, I don't know. But anyway, so tracking down this exact speaker is probably difficult, even though I'd rather. So what I'm going to do is pull out these original rivets, cut them out, and put new rivets in, and mount the new speaker. I might have to drill it. I don't know, at least 1 or 2. Well, anyways, what I was going to say is there's a problem. The new rivets I have are shorter than the original, so we'll see if it fits on the other speaker, but it looks like I may be having to go on a trip to find a couple rivets. This one's got steel in the middle. That one's probably going to need to be cut, I'll bet. Yeah, that's going to need to be cut. I wonder if I can get it from the front. This cutter really shouldn't be cutting this kind of stuff, but it's working. Hell yeah. Get out. Get out. We're getting there. Wow, here's that speaker.
Yeah, it just fell apart. Huh?
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, there's no hope for that speaker.
What speaker?
Yeah. Looks like the original death was a burnt voice coil, which I can understand because Cinematronix soundboards love to burn up the voice coils on speakers when one of the output transistors fail. Yeah, alright, so I'll get to this, put the new one in. Alright, took a quick trip to Home Depot and got the right size rivets. So, I'll put these rivets in. And put these little washers back on. It'd be easier if I wasn't trying to position myself for the camera, but we'll get there. Jeez, you gonna come out or what? Okay. I knocked all the rivets all over the table. Yeah, so basically just not bad. It's actually the same size as the rivets that I took out, so that's good. Alright, let's go ahead and do the rest. Okay, we have some rust around the steering wheel here. And I'm going to see if I can clean it up with some Brillo pad here. Hopefully. Eh, not as much as I'd like. Still looks better than before. Well, it's all together. And pretty soon here we will listen to what it sounds like, and we're going to play it. I tell you what, this thing is actually in really good shape for what it is. It's not perfect. I know it's not perfect. But, you know, and yes, I suppose I could completely restore this, but we're not going to. I don't like to completely restore rare games. In my opinion, it decreases the value of a rare game when you restore it. So we're going to leave that little crack here. We're going to leave the scratches on the side art. We're going to leave all things like that. You know what I mean? That's how it is. A survivor. I don't know. I'm all happy now. I'm going to leave that rust there, although I did debate on possibly sanding that down, tearing the coin door apart, and redoing the coin door. I did have debated on that, but we're going to leave it be. Anyways, let's play some Speed Freak. Okay, we are recording, and I think I'm going to shut the light off. I know I always have so much troubles when it comes to recording vectors. The little viewfinder looks like it's pretty good. We'll see. Now, I coined up. Go ahead and look at the control panel, Kelly. You can see the start button flashing. Turn the light back on. And I'm pretty sure that is the original button. They just happen to use the same cone buttons as, you know, Atari. Okay, so let's give this game a go. Oh, yeah, you know what? Let me turn the light back on real quick. Look at the shifter. I greased this up. It's an odd feeling in this shifter, but that's how it's supposed to be. It just feels as least similar to a real stick as possible, if that makes sense. It just feels weird. But that's how it is. That's how it's supposed to be, though. I wish it had like that resistive like clunk that makes it feel like a real transmission, but I guess it doesn't. That's just how it is. The steering wheel is a 360-degree wheel, like pole position, right? No resistance whatsoever, and I have to say, during gameplay, it is way too responsive. I mean, you know, you literally have to drive like this while you're playing this game. You do. It's ridiculous. Alright, it's extremely hard. It is probably the hardest racing game I've ever played. No wonder this game is so rare. It probably tanked. It's just very hard to play. And you're gonna see me in a moment here how crappy I play at this game. The steering wheel is way too responsive. Oh, I ran right into the cop car. It's just impossible. Jeez, it's so, you have. Oh my God, this game. You know, I've played this game in MAME and so on. I've never actually played a real machine until now. Oh. And I thought, okay, those crazy controls, they just got to be how MAME handled it or whatever. And nope, it is that hard. It is that hard to control in real life too. Don't honk at me. Wasn't even in your lane. Well, maybe I was. Ow. Why? Okay, alright, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let the timer run out. And we're just gonna drive in like first gear or something. Just so we can kind of like, I don't know. Oh, here's something else that's interesting. It doesn't keep track of how many credits you have this game. If you were to put 1 quarter in, it'll allow you to start a game. You put 2, 3, 4, 40 quarters in, it doesn't remember. It just thinks you just put 1 quarter in. It's kind of a goofy glitch, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, or an oversight, I'm going to just drive it in first gear. Maybe we could see some of the graphics now, you know what I mean? Since I can't go full speed. Jeez, what? I didn't realize once you hit the edges, it like fights you. You see, there's like a cop car and a roadblock.
Yep, barricade there.
There's a dog, I think. Just going for a stroll. Another cop car and a roadblock. These guys want me bad. A sign that's a smiley face. There's airplanes going over. Think about this though. This is 1979. It's cactus. In 1979, this is a driving game with this much detail. You might say, oh, there's no detail, but at this time period, this is amazing. There's a cow. A different hitchhiker guy. There's like 2 or 3 different types. There's three different types of hitchhikers. That much detail went into this. Yeah, this is way too jerky. Are you kidding me? Now something interesting about this game. Cinematronix and Vector Beam Games, they had 2 different intensities. There was half on, and the half is bright, and full on, completely all the way on bright, if that makes sense. So that's all they had to work with. For example, let's say this was Star Castle. In the middle you'd have those rotating walls. And if you hit it once, it would go a little dimmer. You hit it again, it'd go off. You see what I'm saying? So that's all they had to work with on this specific and many other of their games. I'm stumbling over my own words. But anyways, most of this game is all the lower intensity. And so, you know, the only time you see the full intensity is when you hit the walls. So let me see if I can do this. Okay, for example, I'm going to hit this wall, this side. See? Now that was the full intensity. Here's something else. I'm going to turn left. Did you see for a second it actually rendered? See if I can do it. You see that road? If I get it just right. If I get it just right, you can actually see cars driving on the road. See, so there's a road in the distance, and I guess there's no car in this particular time.
You went the other direction and still hit the wall.
It's impossible! This game is way too hard! This is definitely not a player's game. No way. No way. A lot of it is the track eventually gets going too fast and the controls are way too touchy. But I guess that's it, guys. I'm a speed freak! You know, I've been wanting this game for years. Years. And this is one of those games that I thought, well, hey, I'm never gonna get one. You know, it's funny. I say that all the time. I'm like, yeah, never gonna get that, never gonna get that. And then, you know, 10 years, 2 years later, eventually I find these games, and I'm just happy I finally got this one, you know? So, geez, we're getting there. At some point, my bucket list is to get one of every Vector, and we're almost there. Anyways, I know I'm all happy about it. Have a good one, guys. If you watched the video this far, I appreciate it. If you could subscribe, that'd be nice. Anyways, have a good one, guys.